And welcome to Community Kitchen. It's the last show before Farm Fantastic, and we've been talking about Farm Fantastic because it all sort of started in this studio where we went from here, and this is my third year now as my other label, my Two Old Ducks label, and we're going to be presenting Farm, and it's pretty exciting. I'm just hoping the weather is going to be absolutely brilliant. We're going to talk to Lisa Curry this morning because she's going to be one of the people who presents her KISS program in our Food for Thought tent. Of course, we've talked to Annette Sim because she's going to be doing some cooking and talking about her weight loss program that she's released books about for years. And of course, Longyard Beef, who we talk about regularly, they are our sponsors. And Josh is going to be doing a few little goodies. He's always done the sausage making, which has always been such a fantastic crowd drawer. So we've pulled in a couple of other little surprises this year, and each day they'll be doing an event. We've got Annette Sim cooking on the Friday and Saturday, and we've got Lisa cooking on the Sunday, and of course we've got the fantastic CWA, which will be cooking on Saturday and Sunday, and of course the Two Old Ducks, my sister and I, will be cooking each day, doing some fantastic things. And excitingly, we're going to be releasing our cookbook, which is Back to Basics, so we'll be cooking from that, and it's all about getting back into the kitchen and serving some good real food. One thing we do have today, which is fantastic, we've got 2 single passes to give out. Saturday only, these are, so if you're available to come to Farm and listen along, because we'll be asking a question a little bit later, and then you can give us a buzz, and then you could be that fortunate person who wins a pass. So we've got 2 to give. We will be asking a question, and you've got to ring up with the answer. Shouldn't be too hard. We never make things too hard here at 101.5. Talking to Lisa a little bit later, but I thought it was interesting. I found this fantastic article in the paper this week, and this is what our Food for Thought tent's all about: getting back to eating real food, enjoying food, getting kids enjoying veggies and their salads and good meat. And I think that's one of the things we love about the Longyard Beef promoting and sponsoring our tent, is because there's no hormones, there's no steroids in their beef. They're very passionate about what they put up. So I loved seeing this article. Milk bottles are back. Glass milk bottles. The days of farm fresh milk delivered in glass bottles are back, thanks to 2 independent Queensland producers, and they say consumers can't get enough. Glenn Dennis started offering his Scenic Rim for real milk in plastic or glass bottles in mid-June. He expected glass to account for about 10% of his daily 5,000 litre yield, but his glass bottle sales are up 30%. We've had an incredible response, he said. It brings back memories for so many people. The glass and the cream top, it's almost like a forgotten thing. Not in my era. Dennis, I remember that because we used to have milk delivered to the school. Thinking of that, we were at Wandoan. Can you imagine? There wouldn't have been any refrigeration. I don't know how we drank that stuff, but we did. It seemed to make us all strong and tough for handling life as we go along. But Mr. Dennis said offering glass has been a great decision, despite the increased cost, with a 750ml glass bottle selling for about $3. It's interesting. When we talked about milk, and we have been talking, and I've been nagging about supporting our farmers, it's an interesting thing because I went to buy cream this week, and there was a few selections on the shelf, and I said to the woman who was stacking, which is the real cream? And she said, well, most of it's not real cream. There's only one that is actual real cream. She said the rest is fake. Think about it. Fake cream, for goodness sake. I think that's why people are willing to pay that little bit more, because most of the milk that we are looking at on our shelves is reconstituted from dried powder. Where on earth is it coming from? And we've talked about that. I think it's quite frightening. We have to start thinking a little bit more deeply about where our food's coming from. But the other person who's supplying milk is Kingaroy Dairy farmers Mark and Pamela Camello, who have been selling organic milk in cardboard cartons and glass bottles throughout their Ivy Home dairy label for 10 years. Very small dairy. They've only got 60 dairy cattle, and their stuff is mainly sold through health food stores and home delivery. So we might be in a little bit of a problem here, but I think it's interesting to have a little look at that, and how lovely to think that if you want to, you can get there and support our farmers, because for want of a better word, it's a dying art. Another little thing I found in the paper, in the Courier Mail, which is a bit scary, but fish oil study finds links to prostate cancer. And we've heard so much about prostate cancer. I'm sure that you've got someone in family or friend who's been suffering from this. But US scientists say they have confirmed a surprising 2011 study that found a higher risk of prostate cancer among men who consume omega-3 fatty acids, raising new questions about the safety of supplements. The research in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute reported a 71% higher risk for dangerous high-grade prostate cancer among men who ate fatty fish or took fish oil supplements, which are often touted for their anti-inflammatory properties. It's incredible, isn't it? We sort of told these things, and all of a sudden they're hurting us. I don't know where we go on this stuff. Maybe we just need to do what our grandparents did. Just eat it as it was, nice and simple. And anything that your granny doesn't understand, don't put it in your mouth. I think that's probably the best way. We're going to go to our song, and we'll come back with our first guest, Lisa Curry, and she's going to talk about her KISS program. And we're back. I just noticed an article this week. State declares war on plastic shopping bags. Queensland shoppers face a ban on supermarket shopping bags under a Newman government waste strategy. The government is also looking at reducing the impact of cling wrap and takeaway packaging, Environmental Minister Andrew Powell said. Interesting, isn't it, when you go home to do your shop, from unpacking your shopping, there is so much waste. You often wonder why we have to have the broccoli on the plastic tray and the cling wrap around it, and I appreciate the fact that everything's portion control. But we've been talking about, the packaging of things and how much expense that puts onto the product. So for me personally, I think it's a good move, because if you get back to the fact that if you're going to your butcher, they have some things packaged, it's always their bigger bulk buys or things that you can whack in the freezer, but not everything, because you're getting that personal service. Not everything is packaged. Whereas you go into a lot of the other bigger shopping areas, everything is packaged, and not only just in a little bit of a cling wrap, it's on one of those plastic trays. What do you do with those things? You can't burn them, you can't get rid of them, you put them to the dump, and then all of a sudden you've got this extra waste. It seems to me that we just have an excess of packaging. Interesting, once you take everything out of your bags and put it on the table, it's a really good exercise to do this, because I always put my nuts in the jars and flour in their containers. And you have a look at actually how much rubbish you actually take from your shopping cart. And it is incredible. So maybe it's a good thing that we have a little bit of a thought about that, because it's a drag. It really is. Now, for our first single pass, who are we going to be talking to this morning? We've had a bit of a hold-up talking to Lisa, and what is her program that she's going to be introducing to us at Farm? So give us a buzz here on 54951015. We've got 2 single passes for Saturday morning only. And we'll be back in a moment. We'll just put a song on. And sorry, guys, we're not having Lisa. She's had a little bit of a problem with her phone, but she's going to be at Farm Fantastic this week, and she's going to join us on the Sunday. She's going to introduce her KISS program. It's Simply Healthy, going from the coverage that I have. Fitness guru Lisa Curry lives by the mantra, keep it simple, sweetheart. The former Australian Olympic swimmer will take time out of her nationwide tour to share her tips to living a healthier life at Farm Fantastic. So she'll be with us on Sunday. entertainment, and it should be great because I think she's also doing a little bit of a program in the wellbeing tent. But she's been coaching people for the last 30 years, and during her 3-week break from visiting the 24 towns as part of One Life, One Chance tour, Lisa will head to Farm Fantastic, and she'll be cooking up a little bit of a storm in the Food for Thought tent on Sunday. So sorry we couldn't get through there, but she's travelling and we've got a little bit of a phone problem. But just remember, guys, the sun will be shining, we hope, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Farm Fantastic. We have 3 days packed of fantastic food, wonderful demonstrations, really fantastic market stalls, which is a new introduction for us. But there's so many beautiful products now, and there's so many people who are passionate about the things they produce. We've talked to some great exhibitors in the last few days, and really looking forward to trying and using some of those fantastic products in our cooking demonstrations. The CWA, of course, does their Cooking for One, which is just lovely and simple. A lot of people live alone, and I think sometimes it's very hard to get that incentive to cook a meal for yourself. So the cooking with CWA is always nice because they just bring that nice casual country air into it, which I really do enjoy. I think it's a worthwhile thing. We're going to go to our song, and we're going to come back and we're going to be talking to Roseanne, and she's going to be bringing beautiful strawberries to Farm Fantastic. And welcome back to Community Kitchen. We have our next guest online, Roseanne from Sianta Strawberries. How are you this morning?
Oh, hi, Annette. I'm good, thank you.
Have I pronounced your family name properly?
Yes, so the CI. So, yep, that's perfect.
Now, your dad's been a farmer for some time.
Yes, he has, yeah. He's been farming, well, since he was a young fellow, I suppose. He's brought up in the farming industry and stuff, so...
Has he always grown strawberries?
Well, he's been growing for 20 years.
It's amazing, isn't it? Sometimes it's just in people's blood, that farming instinct.
Definitely. He's 73 years of age and still working basically the farm out at Wamuran, and he's been growing his own strawberries for 10 years of that, so...
Isn't it amazing when you buy strawberries, like sometimes you'll pick up this strawberry and it just tastes like sunshine's captured inside, and sometimes they're not so good.
Yeah, definitely, that's right, because the nice fresh ones, don't forget, most of these strawberries at this time of the year, you're going to be buying the local strawberries.
Yes.
So you pick up a punnet, and I mean, for myself, like a farmer, but, you know, when you pick it up, have a look at the location and see where it's come from. Wamuran, Alimba, Glasshouse, all these local strawberries, and if they've come locally, you know they're going to be as fresh as possible.
Isn't it beautiful? It's one thing I do have a little bit of a nag, I say, on this show about, watch where your stuff comes from, because if you're getting strawberries from the other side of Adelaide, you know it's going to be 5 days old, yet you can buy local strawberries.
Definitely.
And you know that they're just going to taste so nice.
Definitely. And the season at the moment, so it starts, you start planting your crop around March, April time, and within 6 to 8 weeks you're going to be harvesting. So at the moment, there's this, the strawberries aren't in their full season, so you're going to get as local as possible. But probably around September time, when the market's heaps of strawberries and they're having trouble selling them, you may find that's when you're going to start looking at that sort of old and a bit rotty sort of look, but that's because the market's just full of flooded strawberries, you know what I mean? So
yeah. So how does the weather affect? Like, it's one of those things you drive past, you see all this amazing work being put into the field. If you get hit by a storm, what happens to the berries?
Well, the berries, considering the weather, so if you're looking at a storm season and it basically just rains, I mean, some people unfortunately can lose their strawberries in a bad weather, like we're talking severe weather.
Yeah.
As in maybe their paddock had been flooded and they've lost plants. Then you've got the flower chink sort of retain a lot of water.
Yep.
And strawberries just do not like water, so they sort of have this sort of mushiness about them. So once So, for example, you've got 2 or 3 good days of rain.
Yep.
Then your crop in the paddock's going to be looking a bit mushy and stuff. So they're going to rot a bit quicker in your supermarket.
So never wash your strawberries.
Well, you definitely can wash your strawberries, but don't wash them until you're about to eat them.
Yeah.
So don't buy them from the shelf and go home, wash them and put them away, because they restore a lot of water.
Now, how do you like to eat your strawberries? Just fresh up?
Well, I'm a fresh girl. I like to eat them straight from the punnet, straight from my dad's farm. And I found the best way to store them is, if you're going to eat them, say you're going to the supermarket or your local market somewhere and you've bought a couple of punnets, take them out of the tray, sort them out. I mean, sometimes you are going to find them odd,
Sure.
nasty one in there, or half rotten, or something that doesn't look too good. So take him out, because he will affect all those other strawberries.
Yeah.
Take them out, and if I'm going to eat them that night, the kids are going to have their special treat of strawberries, and just leave them outside on the kitchen bench and let them ripen that little bit more. They just seem to be that little bit more redder and sweeter in flavour. If you're not going to use them for maybe 3 to 5 days later, then again take them out and check that there's no baddies in there. And I just place them on a paper towel.
Yep.
Because you're trying to keep the moisture out of that container.
Yep.
And I just place them in the fridge, and then I just put 2 more maybe sheets of paper towel on top, and just try not to keep them too sealed up, because you want to try and keep that moisture out of them.
We had a gentleman on from Ballandine last week, and Lyra, he's going to bring his beautiful balsamics and his verjuices across. And I said to him, I love having a little bit of balsamic vinegar, but he said, on top of that, he said, make sure you put some salt and pepper.
Yes, it's only just come out. I've had a couple of friends come to me about it, and I've gone, I've never heard of it. But yeah, it seems to be a bit of a craze at the moment.
Well, it is quite nice. So we're going to use some of your strawberries at Farm Fantastic in the Food for Thought tent, and we're going to try that, because Lyra's going to be there, you're going to be there, and we're going to try that salt and pepper. I'm a little bit sus about the salt, maybe, but I can understand maybe the pepper with the balsamic.
Yeah, definitely, because you've got the sweetness from the strawberry and then a touch of salt. But I think it just breaks that vinaigrette out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, definitely, it's a real bit of a craze. Like, it's a side salad now.
Oh, exactly. So therefore, you're going to be bringing strawberries to sell, of course, but we're going to be using them in our food.
Yes.
And no doubt there's going to be people who, a lot of people nowadays, no fun, I'm a bit of a fruit eater. I love it when you go out and you can just buy a handful of fruit as you walk around, because not everyone's a big sweet eater or stuff
that's
like
right,
that.
And people are going for that fruit snack now. Instead of going in the fridge for that packet of chips and a bucket of biscuits, they seem to see people walking through the supermarket checkout, and they got 1 or 2 bananas, and you can tell they've just spent 50 cents.
Yes.
Instead of going and buying a $3 or $4 packet of chips.
Yes.
And people are using that kind of snacks now with just a couple of pieces of fruit instead of the bad sugar sticks. You know what I mean?
That's great for you farmers if you've got that sort of thing happening.
Yeah, definitely.
And do you get out there and get your hands dirty at the farm?
Oh, I try to. I try and go and, I still have a part-time job and 2 kids, but my dad and mum, they're the beautifulest people at the farm, and Dad grows every fruit and vegetable tree you can think of. And at summertime, it's just so beautiful to go out there and have mangoes and peaches and berries and it's just a great farm, and we love always going out there. So
that's good. Well, we look forward to seeing you at the Food for Thought down at Farm Fantastic.
Well, I will be the only strawberry vendor, so make sure you call past, and I'll have a couple of lovely big strawberry balloons floating around, so you'll see me from a distance. And we always provide service with a smile.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, we look forward to having you in our Food for Thought marquee. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. Have a great day.
Bye now, Roseanne.
Bye.
There you go. There's a local farmer. We love all these stories, these local people. And Roseanne's going to bring her family's strawberries from Sianta to Food for Thought tent. And we're going to really try as best we can to incorporate. We've talked to Grumpy's ginger beer with a little bit of chili. We're going to make some interesting little things with that. And we've got lots of little products that we've sort of got inside the tent. We've got beautiful tea blends from Leopard Tree Lodge, and renowned for her tea. So she's going to be making cups of tea, and I'm sure we're going to be having those cups of tea with Crave cupcakes from Toowoomba. And we have so many nice things. Long Yard Beef, of course, are going to be making their great sausages again. And it's good because we can incorporate those things into our cooking. We're going to be doing knife sharpening this year. It's one of those things, you see the butchers and they just flick these knives around and think nothing of it. But for the average person in their kitchen, it can be a problem. And of course, if you were to wash a knife in a dishwasher and a butcher saw you, he would be absolutely disgraced. But these guys know how to do these things. We're going to learn how to roll your own roasts at home. You know, sometimes you might just think, oh, yeah, you know, I've got this chicken and I've seen this recipe and taken the chicken out of the freezer, and you're not in the butcher shop, or you're not somewhere where someone can help you, and you want to put a little stuffing in there and you're trying to work out how to tie that string. Butchers do it with such ease. Josh is going to walk us through that this year, because it's one of those things that I think we all want to learn, that how we can do that, how we can put all these wonderful things in there and then just tie it up so when you're cooking it, it's not falling apart. We try and look each year at bringing up something. Last year, Josh brought to the plate the fact that you could buy bulk meat, as in buy a whole rump and cut it back in size and save yourself a bit of money. This year we've looked at some little home hints, because I think it's nice to be able to add that to your kitchen. It sort of makes you feel a little bit professional when you're getting dinner and you know how to sharpen your knife, you know how to roll a few things up and stuff them, and it's not something that we learn every day, but I think it's fantastic when we can actually watch someone do it, and then you can go home, and it makes you a bit braver when you want to have that turn yourself. We're going to go to a song. Back shortly. We're back on Community Kitchen. So remember, guys, if you want to get a free pass for Saturday, all you got to do is ring up and say, well, actually, we have to change that a little bit because Lisa's had trouble contacting us. So what is Lisa's program that she's going to bring to farm? Give us a buzz here on 54951015. It's very easy, very simple. So give us a ring. Saturday morning passes, single passes to give away. Farm Fantastic. Let's hope the weather is going to be great. We look forward to seeing you there, taking our community kitchen, because it's all about that, getting back to basics, taking all those simple things that Granny used to teach us, and we're going to be showing you how to cook some of those things at farm, how to use your leftovers, how to pack your lunch boxes. Have we forgotten all these things? Roseanne from Sianta, she was talking to us about her strawberries. Her dad's 70-something, still working the family farm. And she was talking about the fact how nice it is to be able to see people getting fruit and veg and using that as a snack rather than sort of spending the $3 or $4 on a packet of chips, a couple of bananas. You don't think about what impact that has on an industry, but if everybody did that, it would certainly help. We wouldn't have to import our fruit from overseas, and we could keep those great farmers going. And, you know, it's interesting. The one thing I love about it is the more that you talk to these people who have been working out in the fields and doing things for many years, their fitness level seems to stay there. They're active and they're doing things, and a lot of the times you meet people who have been working physically and they have this incredible endurance. I know that in some of the areas around Kilcoy, you'll meet people who are quite elderly and they're still riding and they're still mustering every day. How nice is that? It's just such a good thing. So we'll be back next week. Until then, remember, if you want to do something on the weekend, don't forget, come out to Farm Fantastic. Food for Thought tent will be near Gate 3. We've got 3 fantastic days of cooking with the CWA. We've got Annette Sims, we've got myself and my sister, the 2 old ducks cooking. We've got Long Yard Beef doing their fantastic displays. We have the finals of our cooking comp, which the good guys have generously sponsored. Every day at 3 o'clock we'll have the final cook-offs for that. We've broken into 3 categories, so that'll be fun. No pressure, just some favourite recipes, something my family loves that these people will be bringing to the table. And each day the good guys have generously given a gift, a kitchen product that these appliance, sorry, that these people will win, take home, use. Maybe they can learn to cook other things with it. That'll happen every afternoon. So we've got 3 full days of events, and we've got our beautiful market stalls where we've got fresh produce, we've got some lovely things happening. Call in and say hi. Demonstrations all day, and Longyard's going to be actually selling some of their gourmet sausages this time, so you can sit there and have a little chomp while you're watching the cooking event. Look forward to seeing you over the weekend. Come and say hi. We'd love that. And till next week, thanks for listening.